Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the live countdown to kickoff show, and for the first time ever today on Redmen TV history, we are going to be doing a live watch along for a final. Me and Errol will be in this studio, but not just that. We have got a live studio audience with us, live from the Club Legends Lounge. Right now, here's Ross with the Club Legends.
Live in the Club Legends Lounge. Are we ready for a cup final? Yeah! Hey. Very much feel like Anton Deck, but there's only one of me. We're going to be doing some live stuff throughout the afternoon. We're going to play some games. We're going to get the thoughts of the fans, and we're going to be cheering the Reds, hopefully, to a cup final win. Steve has more information for you here.
Yeah, throughout the whole show, we're going to be back and forth to the guys in there. Make sure you guys get involved as well. Get in the live chat on YouTube. If you're one of our Club Legends, head to the Discord chat now. We've got you covered from every single angle. Well, kickoff is, 3.5 hours away, but we've got you right up until that point. We'll be live here. We'll then have our team news reaction show. We'll have the live watch along as well. So make sure you guys join us for the entire show. Right then, Ross, I'm going to head to you now, mate, just with the Club Legends. Get some thoughts on the game, some initial thoughts. How's everyone feeling? 3.5 hours before kickoff?
Yeah, there's a couple of hours to go before kickoff, Jith. Thoughts? It's been a while since we've had a cup final. Are you excited? Are you nervous? A mixture of everything. Do you feel sick?
Well, since the camera just come into my face, now I'm feeling sick, but...
You look into the camera?
I should probably look into the camera. Yeah, I feel excited. I think in the drive up to the game, I think like that on the drive up here, it's just looking forward to the final. I think we've got more than enough to beat Chelsea. I think we've got more than enough to win it in the 90 minutes. It's just about the lads doing it on the pitch and actually pretty much just giving it their best go, putting everything out there. And if they do all that, then I don't see why we don't lift that cup up at 6:30, 7 p.m. this evening.
That'll do me. There's lots of discussion points in and around the team. Obviously, the team news isn't out yet, but Jurgen Klopp has hinted that Queven Keller will keep his place in goal. Is that a concern for you? Are you happy for him? Should we be proud? It's a John Achterberg project that it described as this morning. I think he deserves his place, does he?
I think he does, yeah. I think he deserves it throughout. It's the way he's been playing and everything. I'd have no problems, even if Alisson, touch wood, didn't get injured.
That's definitely not wood, but...
That
is.
There we go.
There we go, that's better. Even if he got injured, I have no problems in Keller finishing the rest of the season as number one. No problems at all. I think he's a old head on young shoulders, and we'd be fine with him there.
Yeah. A discussion that we had earlier on this week, I think it was on the debate show. Obviously, Chelsea are prolific in finals. Might even been up to the build-up show actually. You know, it's easy to get excited about a cup final. How Liverpool have been our form. You know, the way that we're playing, the amount of goals that we're scoring. But I think you have to respect the opponent at the same time, don't you? Obviously, the European champion, current world champions, who are allowed to wear the badge, which I'm really bitter about. But we have to respect the opponent, don't we?
Oh, of course we do. I think based on the results this season, we've drawn to them twice. Last season, obviously, behind closed doors and all that, against Tuchel, we lost to them. They're obviously a good side, and I was saying this before kickoff. I think it's very much like the antithesis of what this Jurgen Klopp side. I think if there was one team I didn't want to face, it would probably be Chelsea. But the thing that I think makes me confident about the cup final as a Liverpool fan is that we can fight fire and fire in terms of making it a real scrappy game. We had Tottenham where we got the early goal and just turned it into a real Mourinho game where we just gave them no counters, gave them absolutely nothing, and it became a real dull encounter. I noticed that with the Club World Cup final as well when we played. We won 1-0, didn't really give them anything. We created a few chances ourselves. And I think overall, I think that just puts us in good stead playing against this Chelsea team. We're not going to get sucked into the way that they want to play, and that is getting the fullbacks really high and leaving ourselves too exposed against the likes of whoever they play up front, Werner, Pulisic, Lukaku, whoever. We're not going to feel exposed in that situation. We know it's a 90 or 120-minute game. We know we've got enough to win over penalties if we absolutely need to. So that's the area where I'm a bit more relaxed about it. I don't feel like we're going to be naive going into the final.
I want to watch the game with you. You're making me feel better about things. Steve, I'm going to throw back to you just for some YouTube comments before we get on the way with our first game.
Yeah, the main YouTube, I want to bring this one up to you, Ross. We've got a few people commenting on your new haircut at the moment. We've got a few people saying, where's your hair gone? And do you fancy getting a transplant as well, my mate? I've got a phone number for a guy. I haven't used them yet, but if you want him, you're more than welcome to have him. What are your thoughts?
Hang on. Sorry, say that again, Steve.
We've had some comments in the YouTube about your haircut or your lack of hair since you got COVID. What happened? And do you want a hair transplant as well? Is getting muted about in here?
Thanks. That's made me feel really good about ahead of the game. Just the confidence lift that I needed. I'm just trying to fit in with Steve. That's all it was. Going down the same route as him. Right then, let's change the subject very quickly because I'm about to cry. We have got some questions to ask you guys. So the question is, you can no, you can't help out. I'm deciding I'm going to be a prick about it. Klopp's first League Cup game as manager was on the 28th of October in 2015. Name anyone who has scored a goal for Liverpool in League Cup under the Jurgen Klopp era. So it's going to be a penalty shootout. So we take it in turns.
Cool. Actually, I go first.
Go on then.
Nathaniel Klein.
Is one. 1 point for Jith. Go on, Steve.
Anyone in the League Cup?
Yep. In 2016. Yeah, Jesus didn't play. I know shit didn't play, by the way. A few suggestions from the crowd there.
Origi.
Divock Origi is correct. That's God.
Felipe Coutinho.
Is incorrect.
Played in the final.
Only Martin! Hey! Is correct. 2-1 to Jith.
Right, 2015 final.
Since the 2015 final. 2016 final.
Mine's gone blank. Come on, YouTube.
Does anyone want to help him? Any suggestions from the back? Curtis Jones?
Sturridge.
Oh my God, okay, we've had two there. We'll go with Curtis Jones. You can have that one.
Well, I'll take Sturridge.
Oh, okay, well.
You gave me the answer. Yeah. Hey, that's your fault. That's your fault.
He said Felipe, I'm definitely not helping him.
Go on.
It's my go again.
I'll give you a clue. For one of them, he's still there now.
Milner.
Me. There you go.
Jordan Ibe.
Yes, and yes.
You're a statistician.
I know, yeah.
That's why I'm
Did
here.
you see the board?
No, I have not seen the board.
Back to you again.
Jurgen Klopp.
Another one who's still there.
We're going to have to do a countdown here, Ross. We're going to have to put some time limits on this. Come on.
Jordan Henderson. No, we're going to have to do quick fire now. Speeding up. Jith. Got one more and you've won.
We'll go with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
That's correct. Jith wins the first round. I did have some prizes, which were over there. I'll give you them in a minute.
Well done,
There you go. There you go. Oh my God, look at these two stashing him. There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, you got the answers for the next one as well. There we go. Jith wins the first round of games. Steve, what are the super chats saying in the YouTube comments?
Yeah, well done, Jeff. Congratulations. Enjoy your prize there. Yeah, so I'll read out the full list of players then who've scored a League Cup goal under the Jurgen Klopp era. Let's see if anyone else could add to it tonight. But it's in alphabetical order. Here's what you could have had, guys. Klein, Coutinho, Firmino, Keanu Hoover, Jordan Ibe, Curtis Jones, Diogo Jota, Marco Grujic, Ragnar Klavan, Taki Minamino, Divock Origi, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Xherdan Shaqiri, Daniel Sturridge, Ben Woodburn, and of course, James Milner's added on at the bottom there as well. So yeah, let's hope today the likes of Mo Salah, Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane, Thiago, Henderson, Van Dijk, Matip, one of these trends, Robertson. Let's hope someone adds that today. If we don't, Liverpool might be in a bit of bother. Heading over to the Club Legends Discord chat now. I've got Oddbod who says, check them Legends, Steve. That's a dangerous room. Don't get them wet or feed them after midnight. So yeah, I think Oddbod's calling all you lot gremlins there. And we've got Nat as well who says she's so nervous. Nat, don't be nervous. The Reds have got you covered. And Scott T simply says, come on, the Red Men. Yeah, so like I say, we are Kickoff is still a good 3 hours away. Team news will be out in about 2.5 hours. Me and Errol will be live on YouTube for both. So I say team news reaction about 3:10. Me and Errol will go live here from the studio to react to Jurgen's 11. That will hopefully win the League Cup for us today. And then about 4:15 on the watch along again. We'll be here for the entire 90 minutes, plus extra time and penalties if it gets that way, with our complete 100% biased commentary on this game. Get the game on your telly, press mute the telly. You don't need need those commentators at all, come and join me and Errol and the live audience, Ross and the gang out there in the Club Legends Lounge as well, for the full Liverpool experience. If you can't be in the ground, if you're not lucky enough to have a ticket, which plenty of people weren't able to do with the ballots and with travelling and all that kind of stuff, the next best thing is to join me, Errol and the gang for the watch along. A few chats then from the group. So shout out first to Danny for modding the chat again. Shout out to you, Danny. Liverpool 6 times says, I'm feeling so positive we can score goals from almost anywhere. And then Bjorn says, we had the comeback kings in Istanbul. We need the comeback queens there, Prenton Park. Yeah, Bjorn, shout out to the Liverpool ladies team who are playing as well today. Go and give them some love as well. Jay Nugent, when Liverpool win, shall we be the custodians of the cup or the owners? Yeah, that's the important thing for this game. As it stands, Manchester City are tied with 8 League Cup wins with Liverpool Football Club. I know Steve, Sam and Paul mentioned this on the build-up to the show. Important for Liverpool to get back to number 1, win that 9th trophy as well. And basically, Man City, if they're not going to give them balls when the ball hits their arm, at least we can take something off them. We can take their record. So seemingly the Premier League don't want to take their Premier League trophy off them, either that or the incompetence of the referees. Well, if Liverpool they can't do nothing about today, can they, Man City? They're sat at home watching while Liverpool hopefully go and take their record. Right then, Ross is back in place with more club legends in the lounge. Ross, what's going on out there?
Yeah, welcome back to the Club Legend. Now we're ready for game 2 and joined by Bobby and by Tomo. This is a Who Am I? So we're going to give you a series of clues. Each one gets harder and harder. There is 3 rounds to go, so we'll be first to 2 and we'll play the third one for a laugh if someone wins 2-0. Are we ready?
I feel like I'm on the chase, to be honest with you.
I could be Bradley Walsh. Which chaser would you be?
Would I be a chase? I wouldn't be a chaser.
Which chaser would you be, Gibby?
I couldn't be any of them. I'm not clever enough for
Just
that.
pretend for 2 minutes that you are.
The Beast, just because.
There you go. Okay, sound. Okay, I would have gone with Alan Hegarty.
Understand.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave that conversation right there. Okay, perfect segue. Are we ready, gents?
Yeah, go ahead.
Look at all. We've done well to last this long on YouTube. Well done. Right then, I was born in August 1991.
Can we just say are these Liverpool players?
No, mate, the singers and songwriters. What do you think we're fucking doing?
No one said once these Liverpool players.
Liverpool players, of course, Liverpool players.
Now
Have you watched Redmen before?
I have, yes.
Right then. Right, okay, the Liverpool players. I have been capped 27 times by my country. So who was that?
Lucas Leiva?
No, it was not.
You're horrible, you are. I'm going to go John Henderson.
No. Next clue, clue number 3. I have played 152 games for Liverpool. I joined Liverpool in 2016. Do you know any Liverpool players?
Yeah, so these are current Liverpool players. See, you really haven't stipulated the description of who they are. Are they current Liverpool players or former? Oh, well, there we go. Now you've said
We
that.
joined in 2016.
Okay, I'm going to go.
I am 6'5".
John Matter.
Got it right. Got it right. Right, 1 for Tomo. Right,
It was easy.
sorry.
Was easy.
This is still a Liverpool player, still a current Liverpool player that plays for Liverpool Football Club. Okay, does that help? Okay. I was born in October 1993. Bit younger. No. I have been capped 23 times by my country.
Firmino.
No, it was not Bobby Firmino. I joined Liverpool in 2018, so he still plays for Liverpool now.
Keita?
Who's that?
Naby Keita?
Not Naby Keita. Any guesses?
Ox.
Nope, not Oxlade-Chamberlain. I scored my first goal for Liverpool in a 4-0 win over Newcastle in December 2018. Okay.
The live, just let you know in here, everyone in the YouTube chat's got this one right. You guys are flailing
Everyone
live.
in the
Come
YouTube
on.
chat's got it right. It said Firmino before!
Fabinho was said. Fabinho.
Okay, 2-0, yeah.
Oh, come on.
There we go, Fabinho.
Right, we'll play the third one for a laugh. Everyone in the YouTube comments got that one well done at home. Right, final one. Clue number 1. I made my professional appearances for 3 English clubs in my career. He's played for 3 English clubs in his career. I signed a new long-term contract with Liverpool on July the 9th, 2021, so it's not Mohamed Salah, is it? No.
Stop doing that.
Last final clue. I scored my first goal for Liverpool in February this year.
It's definitely like being on the chase. Me mind's gone blank.
Come on, Bobby. Crawl back some hope and some dignity by getting this one right.
We're in February this year, February now.
Yes!
Yeah, we're still in February, aren't we?
Yeah. So he scored this month. His first goal.
Just to let you know, also the YouTube have got it again. We've got Ryan, we've got Joe, we've got Porty, we've got SD Donna. Have all got this one right.
I'll give you a clue.
Harvey Elliott.
Hey, there you go. 3-0. Okay.
Hey, that's 3-0.
Clean sweep for Tomo, who got there in the end. It's because I told you they were current Liverpool players. That's what did it. I was being nice to you. 3-0 to Tomo. Steve, what are the YouTube comments saying?
Basically, the YouTube comments saying how fucking shite you all are at that game is what the fucking YouTube comments are saying. My goodness, great. If we ever have to make it a Redmen team or Redmen Club Legends team for any type of quiz, we now know the people who will not be on that team. My goodness gracious me. Yeah, so it was obviously. It was the last one was there, Harvey Elliott. We had the others as well there. Fabinho was obviously one of the answers. And of course, Big Joel Matip as well. Speaking of big current Liverpool players, then let us know in the live chat if you're watching along the Liverpool 11s that you guys would pick for this game. We already know Kevin Kelleher's going to be in goal, so if I was you, let's presume Kelleher's going to be in the goal, but yet everyone else then, let us know who you guys would have. We'll head over to the Club Legends Lounge shortly in a minute to get the views of the guys in there as well. But I want to know in the live chat now, if you guys want to get yourselves involved, let me know the teams you would pick. While you're doing that in the chat again, let me just remind you all what will be happening today on the Redmen Network. So about 3:10 this afternoon, we'll be live with our team news reaction. Me and Errol in the studio reacting to Jürgen's starting 11 at 4:15, about 15 minutes before kickoff. We'll be live with the watch along. We'll have you covered from 4:15 until the final whistle goes, whether that be 90 minutes, extra time, penalties. We will guide you through that all. I had a comment before in the chat about Liverpool. If Liverpool win, yes, we will be staying live for the trophy lift as well. Be a slightly different watch along. Obviously, we've got a live audience there to get involved with as well. And then after the final whistle, hopefully after Jordan's done the Jordan Henderson shuffle and lifted that trophy high above his head into the Wembley skies, we will have your fan reactions, we will have the player ratings as usual, and then streaming live on Redmen Plus will be the instant match reaction. So yeah, make sure you guys are all over the YouTube. If you're a club legend or a club captain subscriber on Redmen Plus, make sure you got your eyes on that for the instant match reaction. If you're not, there's never been a better time to get involved. There's tons and tons of content. So after this show ends, if you want to kill a couple of hours before we go live again, head on over to Redmen Plus. We've got our In Conversation with Stuart Downing, man of the match the last time Liverpool win this trophy. We've got our 5-part premium podcast highlighting every single one of Liverpool's 8 League Cup wins. We've also got 2001 League Cup Final, the first ever episode of Silverware Stories, narrated by the handsomely wonderful, brilliant James Sutton. With guests such as Phil Thompson, Marcus Babbel, Sander Westerveld, Darren Pearce, who was in the Birmingham team that day as well. So yeah, we've got you right. We've got covered all over the Redmen Network. Paul and Chris are in the stadium as well, so they'll be doing some social stuff from there as well. So make sure you've got us covered. Make sure you are watching. Watch the socials, watch the YouTube. Get ready to Redmen Plus. We've got you guys covered. Going to read some of your starting 11s that you guys will pick then. Now we've got Bjorn who says Kelleher, Trent, Matip, Robbo, Fab, Thiago, Elliott. Taki gets a game for Bjorn with Diaz and Salah. We've got Ryan Warren, one of our members there, who goes Kelleher, Trent, Van Dijk, Matip, Robbo, Fab, Thiago, Hendo, Salah, Mane, Diaz. And I've got a feeling that might be the 11 we see. Who else? We've got M95, who's got Kelleher, Trent, Virgil, Joel Costas at left back, Keita, Elliott, Dixon Bonner, Minamino, Oxen, Origi. I've got a little feeling you're taking the piss out of there, M95. Let's see what else. We've got Joe Games, who's gone for Kelleher, Trent, Robbo, Matip, Van Dijk, Henderson, Elliott, Thiago, Mane, Salah, Diaz. So Ross, going to come to you then with a couple more of the club legends. We've got a rough idea what we think Jürgen's team might be. What are the guys out there thinking? What should Jürgen be doing for his starting 11 later on this afternoon?
Yeah, welcome back. I'm joined by Steve Plunk and Errol Smith to get the thoughts ahead of this game. I know Errol will be on a show later on anyway, but I've got a question that I want to ask him. Steve just mentioned some of the lineups there. Another Steve. What do you think Jürgen will go with? I think the back 5 may pick itself. Obviously, we mentioned Kevin Kelleher before, but midfield 3, maybe the front 3 picks itself with injuries to Jota and Firmino. But what are you thinking?
think he'll go with Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago. That's a safe bet, and it's the midfield that we know, the midfield we trust, it's the midfield that will stop Chelsea playing. I think Chelsea will be very pragmatic, and I think it's up to us to take the game to them. So for that reason, I wouldn't be disappointed if Harvey Elliott started over Henderson, and then we bring Henderson on to manage the game towards the end of the second half, potentially. But I think in a final against a team like Chelsea, you've got to be careful, and you've got to make sure you do the right things at the right time. So I think we'll go with the trusted three in midfield, and I don't think anyone in this room would be disappointed with that.
No. Do you think that's where the battle will be won and lost in the midfield? Obviously, you know, we just mentioned that there's choices that we've got, but then you think of Chelsea, Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, you know, loads more that they can use at their disposal. I find when Liverpool play games and we're not doing so well, it's when we fail to control the midfield. What's where I think Steve's point there, Jordan Henderson's experience and nous might come into hand there.
100%. I can't see a final where you don't play your captain. Your captain's got to start. He's going to have to set the tempo for everybody. He's going to have everybody kind of up for it, and you kind of want that leadership on the pitch, really, to kind of, he's been there, he's dragged us over the line a couple of times. I would go with that midfield, to be completely honest with you. The one that you said, Steve, I think it's the strongest one we've got. We haven't been able to play that midfield enough, really, for my liking. But the fact that when they do get a chance to play with each other, I think we can see the levels. Thiago's he kind of dictates the pace. I think when we've got a player of his quality on the pitch, you're able to just see what he brings to the team in terms of being able to kind of just control the tempo of it and just inject that little bit of quality that we need. And Henderson, for me, he's just the one that's just going to get the lads up for it. Like, there's no way the lads are playing below par if he's on the pitch today. He's going to be screaming, shouting orders, barking at them. So that's what I done. And then obviously, you know, Fabinho's just going to mop up everything and just be this kind of the screen in front of the back four. So I'd happily go with that midfield. And I think, yeah, in terms of winning the game, that's where it'll be won or lost for me today.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on any team news rumours. Actually, speaking of rumours, there was a rumour that your mum was coming in today. Where is she?
She is, yeah. She'll be here about half 3/4 of 4.
Okay.
So like
Come back for team news on that one. Steve, sorry, mate. I'm so sorry.
Errol's going to knock you out.
She loves me. She's fine. She's worried. She loves me. It's all good. You've seen Liverpool through, you know, 80s, 90s, noughties, you know. How does this Liverpool side compare to those ones there? And we mentioned Liverpool winning the European Cup, winning the Premier League. We all know what happened when we suffered injuries and COVID and no fans and stuff like that. But this team feels slightly different. How does it stack up against those, and what do they have to do to get to the same conversations as other ones?
So in terms of options, we've got 7 guys up front now, scored 5 or more goals this season. I haven't seen that in all the time I've been a Liverpool fan. I think right now our squad is the strongest squad we've ever had in all the time that I've supported Liverpool. I actually think this team's on the way to being the best team. I have the 1984 team that won in Rome right up there in my mind as the best Liverpool team, and that for me is a standard bearer. But I'm telling you now, this team is getting close, and they give us a historic season this season, mate, and I'll have them at the very top of the tree, mate.
Yeah, we'll win all 4. We'll be happy with that. Just
fine.
fine.
I can just log off.
Done, yeah. No arguments on Twitter ever again. Final question to you then, Errol. You obviously mentioned the midfield and the back line. Do you think there'll be any surprises? There was a YouTube comment there from Steve that read out was Taki Minamino might get a start. Divock Origi's always a big man for big moments. Can you see him starting, or do you think it's going to be Mane, Salah, Diaz?
It's got to be a heavy hitters. It has, really. I think I'm a little bit gutted for Taki, I'm not going to lie, because he's partly the reason why we've got as far as we have in this competition. He's been there, he's chipped in, he's got the goals. Like, I think most of his goals this season have come in this competition. I just think when you see the likes of Diaz and the quality that he brings, it's hard to argue him not getting a start. And again, he's the unknown quantity. Chelsea haven't got a clue what he's going to do. And as Liverpool fans, we still don't know what he's going to do, but it's a good thing for us because he plays in a red shirt. So I think if we're managing the game well, there's plenty of time to bring on the lads that, like you just mentioned, Origi and Taki. If it's not going well, again, both of those players have popped up for goals for us this season when we probably wouldn't have expected them to. So they're options off the bench, and I think to be able to be in that position again just kind of shows the luxury we've got at the moment as Liverpool fans. So fingers crossed, the heavy hitters go in first, and then the other boys just go and finish the job off at the end.
Yeah, 100%, completely agree on that one. Obviously, we'll be back for the team news shortly. Going to go back to Steve, but just before we do, one last cheer. Are we all ready for a cup final and a Liverpool win? Yeah! There you go. Back to you, Steve.
Yeah, everyone's having a good old time out there. I feel like I'm missing out. The food, the drinks, everything's going right off in there. Like I say, in terms of team news, like, what do we know then about the Liverpool side so far? It looks like Bobby Firmino is not going to be available. It looks like Diogo Jota is maybe fit enough to take his place on the bench, perhaps, as well. But yeah, Ella and I will be back About an hour to a couple of hours away, yeah. So make sure you are with us for that one. Like I say, team news reaction at 3:15. Sorry, at 3:10, and then the live watch along will be on the go at 4:15. Heading over to the comment section now. Then a couple more teams. So Keith has got Canate starting as well. I suppose in terms of team news decisions, I guess really the only ones that I think might be up for debate. I mean, there's an argument for centre half. Although I've got a feeling Joel Matip is probably going to get that one. It's rarely you start in midfield and then maybe up front, but even then it looks like the Mane, Salah, Diaz thing is very much on the card. So it's really, I'm pretty sure Firmino is going to play. I'm pretty sure Thiago is going to play as well. It's whether who that third guy will be. There's Henderson, there's Elliott, there's Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Curtis Jones. I can't see James Milner, if I'm honest, but he might be a good one for penalties later on in the show, perhaps, if it gets that far. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully Liverpool can just do the business. Right then, I've got a few shout-outs. Imogen gives a shout-out. Apparently her dad's in there as well. So there you go, Imogen. We'll let your half fella know that you're watching along. In terms of, well, yeah, so Martin reckons, again, there's a few shout for Canate there as well. Let me know in the comments, guys, then, like I say, who should be centre-half and who should be in that midfield slot. We'll go back to the Club Legends Lounge shortly and get some more views and thoughts on this stuff. Let's have a little look then. Yeah, Darag there. It has to be Hendo, Fab, Thiago and Hendo to be able to control the play, playing forward. Yeah, absolutely right. You're 100% right. I've got a feeling it should be that as well. And then Jabari says the only way Hendo doesn't start is if it's more attacking lineup. 4-2-4, if that's what it is. And then Connor, I think Taki deserves a place. Yeah, Taki, listen, it's weird this one really, because I know what Klopp's done in goal. He's playing Kevin Keller because he's the cup goalie and he's got us all the way here. The likes of Taki Minamino, Divock Origi, there's loads of players who've actually got Liverpool to the point where we're here. But it's only really in goal where he might end up making that change. The others, I guess he's not going to do that. Ross, I'm going to come over to the Club Legends Lounge shortly. First question is, like I say, there's a lot of debate in terms of who should be playing in Liverpool's midfield three. And the second one is, how are the guys feeling about Chelsea? This is a Chelsea team that have played a lot of finals, like we've said. They've been in a lot of close games recently. They haven't really blown anyone away, where Liverpool look like they're coming into the form of their lives. So yeah, a couple of questions there to pass on to the legends for us. Firstly, Liverpool, the makeup of Liverpool's midfield three, and then secondly, the general thoughts on Chelsea.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Do you want to buy another Steve? Is anyone not called Steve, by the way? There's 20 Steves, isn't it? Yeah. Steve's just asking Steve. Liverpool's midfield makeup, obviously we mentioned there on the sofa there. You know, would you do anything different? Obviously, the consensus seems to be a Fabinho, Hendo, Thiago 3. Do you think that'll compete with Chelsea the best?
I think they're quite well balanced. I think if you've got the creativity of a Thiago combined with the work rate of maybe a Jordan Henderson and a Fabinho in there, I think you've kind of got all possibilities accounted for. I think if you've got a Chelsea that are going to sit back and kind of let you come at them, you've got Thiago with that maybe killer pass that you need. But if they're going to kind of come out on the offensive, you've kind of got your Fabinhos and your Jordan Hendersons to mop things up and just recycle possession on the edge of the box. So I think with that, we know what we're getting from that. There's no kind of loose cannons in there with your Harvey Elliott and things like that, which could be used later on in the game. So I think if you start with that 3 and then kind of adjust accordingly, I think you're kind of accounting for all eventualities.
Do you think there's a slight bit of redemption? Obviously, there was a 2-2 draw at Anfield. There's a red card. I think it was very frustrating for, obviously the fans at the time. We just should have blown them out of the water. But as you said there, they kind of sat back. They defended pretty well. I don't think a lot of people give Chelsea the credit they deserve for defending. Mm-hmm. But do you think that's in the back of Liverpool players' minds going, actually, we should have fucking beat you there?
I think there's a whole different dynamic when you're looking at a final, whereas they can't sit back and hope for a draw this time. I think with a final, you've kind of got to attack the game. And I think if you don't, it looks upon your team really, really differently, as opposed to, fair enough, if you don't feel like you've got the players or the ability to achieve a convincing victory against Liverpool at the time, then fair enough, by all means, hold out for a draw, because tactically it's quite astute in the league if you're not backing yourself for the 3 points to go and get one. But I think if in the final, I think you've kind of got to attack it. I think you've got to come out, and I think the players will know what sort of game they're going in for with a final, and they're going to know that they've got a game on their hands and that they've got to go for it. There's no sitting behind and hoping. Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah.
And just the preparations there, as Steve mentioned, beating Leeds 6-0 is perfect form, isn't it? You know, everyone's going to be high. Loads of goals were scored. Van Dijk gets a goal. Joe Matip finally scores that goal, which I don't think is quite his best run yet, but I think he'll do it again. It's important for Liverpool. To the question of what I was going to ask you, what's the importance on this final? So it's all right, you know, Liverpool getting to all these finals and doing so well in the league, but because we had that kind of, people calling it a dry spell since we last won a trophy, this is significant in terms of, you know, it'll ruin our mood for the day if we don't win this. But what can Liverpool then go and build on if they do win it?
Well, first of all, I think with the squad that we have in place, this squad is capable of winning every trophy every single season. Yeah. And you've got to... Thanks, Errol. So you've got...
That was just Errol, by the way.
Just Errol.
Hype man Errol doing his thing there.
You want to maximise that opportunity. You want to win as many as you can. I think I watched an interview like back when we won the league, and the thing that they kept on saying is, there wants to be a point where when they're talking about league titles and League Cup wins and that, they want to forget what year that specific memory was. There was like, was it the one that we won in 22 or 23 or 20? We want to get into that stage of winning trophies. And I think what this trophy does this year is it allows us to have that win. It takes off the pressure of the silverware monkey on the back for the season and allows us to focus on just building momentum, getting wins, doing what we did back in 18-19 where we just went on a winning run. And I think if we're able to get on that winning run and replicate that formula, I think the fact that the roles are reversed in the Premier League, where we're chasing City down and they're struggling to keep up, they needed a very dodgy win yesterday to get that result and to keep up the point lead. That will just put more pressure on them and it'll give us so much more confidence going into it. It'll also give confidence to the like of Kelleher, Origi, Minamino, all of those players who feel like they've earned that trophy for themselves. Even if they don't play today, even if Origi or Minamino don't play, they'll be able to go into this rest of the season thinking, I've done a massive job here, and if I'm needed again, I am ready to step up, and I know that I can step up because I've already done it.
Yeah, 100%. Just a quick word on the opponents. We haven't really spoke about them. Go back to summer. They bought Lukaku. They were favourites for the title. You know, everyone said they were going to win the league because they brought in the striker. It was the final piece of the jigsaw to what they needed. And I know I'm not going to slate them because I think it's important that we do respect them. But have you been slightly underwhelmed at Chelsea this season, what they've done? But obviously they've already gone out and won a trophy so far this season, so you can't just say they've been dead crap. But I think they've been, in my opinion, slightly underwhelming.
I think you've got to be careful, haven't you, in terms of, especially before the final kicking off, like how much respect you give to Chelsea. You've got to respect them as opponents going into a final because they've got themselves there in the same way that we have. But I think if you're looking at league-wise, they've certainly not gelled as well as a team or brought in as many or integrated as many of their big hitters as they hope to. But I think if you're looking to assess them as a whole, as an opponent, I think you've just got to go in there, treat them as any other opponent you would in a final, and just go in there, get the job done. Because at the end of the day, that's what they are. They're just the last hurdle to get out the way before we lift that trophy, hopefully.
Yes, I like it. And just come slightly forward. Is there anyone in the Chelsea side that you kind of concerned about, the place that's going to cause Liverpool the most issues? I mentioned Lukaku there. There was a stat flying around that I think he had the least touches in a Premier League game since Opta started. Now, that's all very well, I know, on social media, having, bants and kind of laughing at him, but he's still a massive player and he can score big goals in big games.
I think the area that worries me most is probably the midfield. I think Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, they've all got the ability to dictate a game and stop any of those cutting Thiago passes that we want, any of the Trent balls from out wide, or if he comes inside, those sort of number 10 roles. They're brilliant at closing those avenues down. And I think the worry would be if we get impatient in those areas and Kante starts dictating the game and he starts going on those dribbles that he can do. Kovacic puts in another 30-yard screamer like he did, something like that. Those are the areas that I'm most fearful for. I think Havertz is a real threat because I think he's a big game player, as he's shown. He's got cup-winning goals in both the Champions League and the Club World Cup finals. I think Lukaku, I'm more worried about Havertz because I think he's a bit more tricky to mark. He's a bit more tricky to figure out how to deal with. I think he would link up with Pulisic or whoever they play in that front three. I think I find Lukaku. I obviously won't be comfortable with Lukaku there, but if I see Lukaku on the team sheet, I think that would be my favoured option, being a Liverpool fan. And then I don't know what the fitness situation with Reece James is. I think he's been back in training, but I don't know if he's going to be in the 11. That would be another concern if they're able to get at least one of those top wing-backs in their team again. That's been a huge miss for them in the past months since both of them have been out. So I think if Reece James comes back in, I think that would probably be the other area of concern, because he's the one who can produce a bit of magic for the likes of Lukaku or Havertz or...
England's second best right back, yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's not even a debate.
Let's not have that now. That's a whole other show. Okay. And Steve, finally, we mentioned the attacking threats of Chelsea there with Havertz, Timo Werner, again, someone who we kind of laugh about, but again, he's a threat. One position that we haven't covered is the centre-back issue. Van Dijk obviously starts. It's not an issue, it's a discussion. There's a couple of shouts in the YouTube comments earlier. Was Konate, Joel Matip, who partners Van Dijk today for you?
If you came into this game with maybe Lukaku being in a bit of finer vein of form, I'd maybe kind of opt for a Konate in there because of the physicality. But I think if your two defenders end up going and scoring bloody worldies in the game before, it's hard to opt against starting those two again. I think Joel Matip again can start coming up with the unpredictable going forward, and he's reliable at the back. So I think he gives us more, and I think we can trust him more than if we just opted for Konate's kind of physicality to get us through dealing with Lukaku. So
yeah, it's a good point that actually the Joel Matip stuff, if I find interesting, together with your observation of the midfield, if it's congested, if it's man for man in the midfield, that's where Joel Matip tends to do those runs that kind of Steve's talking about, going, well, there's nothing on in front of me, I'm going on a fucking adventure. So Liverpool could need that in the lock, couldn't they?
Oh, 100%. I think the situation that I just love about this squad now is that if you told me a world where Matip starts, I'd be absolutely over the moon. If you told me a world where Konate starts, I'd be absolutely over the moon. I don't think there's a real drop-off in quality between the two. I'd personally go Matip just because I think I want as many risk-averse footballers to start the game, just to make it as tight as we can, keep with Chelsea, and we're going to win it 0-0. I don't think it's going to be a battering of a game. I hope it is, but I don't think it will be. So I think we want to make sure we have as many experienced lads out there as possible. But if Ibrahima Konate starts, I would be absolutely happy with that. And I think he'd do just as fine of a job, especially with his pace. And he's shown recently that he's more than capable of dealing with any situations. He dealt with Tottenham pretty well, given that Virgil van Dijk wasn't even in the 11. So I'd be confident with him starting with Virgil at the back.
Just finally on Joel Matip, do you think he's, maybe not by Liverpool fans, but obviously outside fans, do you think he's a little bit underrated? Because obviously the focus last season was, we had all those injuries, like mainstream media and everyone else, like, oh, Van Dijk's been injured, Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. But Liverpool actually lost, well, we lost a lot more than just Virgil van Dijk, but Joel Matip was instrumental in that. I was looking at some of his stats earlier in the week, and I think he surpassed his minutes in games since 17-18, I think it was. So the past two seasons, I think he played 12 games. I think he played 11 games. He's been nowhere near. Every time he comes in, it's just a flawless performance. And, we touch wood again. It's still not wood. There we go, touch wood, there we go. He's just impeccable every time that he comes in. I just don't think Virgil van Dijk's the best centre-half in the world. We kind of all know that. Joel Matip just kind of goes under the radar, I think, for a lot of people.
I think I've been just in the build-up to watching it, you kind of watch all these combined 11s that Sky Sports do. I think Mark Grolbridge, all these people do these sort of combined 11s. And Matip is always mentioned as a side piece to it. He's like, oh, it's going to be Thiago Silva, it's going to be Rudiger. Matip's had a decent season. He's arguably been better than Van Dijk this season. That's the only way to put it. He's been just as fit as anyone so far. He's dominant in the air. He's got that unpredictability where he's able to score a goal like he does against Leeds. And I just think in general, I don't think you could get a better centre-back for our system than what Matip offers us. Definitely in the league. I'm not going to comment on world football. I don't know enough about European leagues and that. But definitely in terms of the Premier League, if you have offered me Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Joel Matip, I'd be taking Joel Matip for the team every single day of the week. So I think that's just kind of my stance on it.
Okay. Joel Matip is the best. There we go. We have it there. I think we pretty much covered everything ahead of the game. We're going to throw back to Steve now. He's going to get some final comments before we take a break and then get ready for the team news in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, nice one, guys. Thanks very much. Yeah, so heading to our Club Legend Discord chat now. Then Scott says about the way of respect. It's important to respect the opposition, just not too much. Go at them. We are capable of winning. Absolutely, Scott. And then M47, speaking about the midfield three, he's going for Fab, Hendo and Thiago to start for him. Yeah, like I say, if you guys are thinking about joining up to Redmen Plus, if you want to join us a Club Legend, you get extra perks, including access to this Discord chat and also access to our live events. All those guys out there in the lounge are Club Legends. You guys could be there next time we do one of these. All you got to do, head on over to the redmentv.com, join Redmen Plus at the Club Legend tier, and you might be able to get yourselves in there in this Discord, all the other tons of perks as well. Most importantly, access to all of the amazing content. Right then, we are going to take a short break right now. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with more build up to the final. But yeah, check out this.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm your host Ross Chanley.
We're going to guide you through the whole of Liverpool versus Arsenal with our completely 100% biased commentary.
It's Liverpool 1, it's Arsenal 0.
Oh, fuck off, fuck off. What the fuck's that? Do these people know the fucking rules of football, Errol? Because he's pissing me off. That is absolutely glorious.
The backspin on it though, look at the backspin. Oh, what? It doesn't hit the floor. Oh!
Offside?
Oh! Oh! Oh!
The goal has been ruled off for offside.
Amazing.
Yeah, so there you have it. If you've never watched a Redmen TV watch-along before, that's exactly what it's like. When the kickoff starts, like I say, mute your telly, sync your clock up with ours, and join us for the commentary. It'll be me and Errol, completely biased. Don't listen to all that nonsense that some of the commentators might be chatting. Just join us for the completely 100% biased Liverpool version of events. Fingers crossed, touch wood. Liverpool have never, ever, ever lost a game that me and Errol have done a watch-along for. Touch wood, that streak continues today, and that by what? Somewhere between 6:30 and 7:30 tonight, Jordan Henderson's doing the little shuffle, trophy in the air, and we can all celebrate Liverpool's first of hopefully 4 major honours this season. Make sure you are with us. In fact, if you watch on YouTube now, if you click the little alert bell, make sure you subscribe to Redmen TV, click that little alert bell on our channel, and the second we go live on all of our shows, you'll get a notification. You can join us straight away. So yeah, Team News Reacts will be up at 3:10 roughly. We'll go live for that one, and then the watch along at 4:15. Make sure you join me, Errol, Ross, and the entire gang of Club Legends for the show. Guys, one more cheer! Come on! No! Cheer! They're not cheating! Hey! Jesus Christ almighty, that took a long old time for them to react to me thinking. Listen, we've got about 2.5 hours to practice that. So when we go live at 3:10, I promise you between now and then that'll be better than that was, because that was fucking horrendous. That was absolutely awful. I give up. Right then, we're gonna head off now. Like I say, make sure you join us at 3:10 for the Team News show. Make sure you join us for the watch along as Liverpool Football Club, fingers crossed, get their hands on their first piece of silverware of the season. So yeah, thanks to Danny in the chat, thanks to all the Club Legends, thanks to everyone in the lives that have got involved in the show, thanks to the Club Legends and Ross. Apart from their horrendous quizzing ability, we'll never ever thank them for that. But yeah, until then, I'll catch you all in a bit, so ta-ra. Hey guys, thanks for watching that show. We are on the countdown to the League Cup Final. Liverpool playing Chelsea at the end of February. And if you want to get some amazing content around that game, we have got you covered.
We have got exclusive interviews and documentaries all available in video and podcast form. So you want to listen to us on the go, we have got you sorted.
Yeah, so do head on over to the redmentv.com, join up to Redmen Plus, and hopefully get yourselves in the mood for when Liverpool win the League Cup at Wembley.